Good evening. Is frequency in use? Well, all righty then. Yes, my name is Paul, K4PEW, Net Control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. If you have an emergency, please call 911 or you can call out here and we'll try to help if we can, but 911 is going to be faster and better. Um, that may be broken at any time for priority traffic. For information on that, you can see us on Yahoo Groups at MJ_SS or on our website, 146415.net, or you can send me an email at K4PEW at ARRL.net, or you can look us up on YouTube live feed right now, which is you can either look it up under my call, K4PEW, or if you look up Simplexton, you'll find it there with the Simplex TON on the end, or under my channel, which is Brain Trusts, one word, BRAINTRUSTS. We conduct a net every Wednesday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. We, as always, we're on 146.415 FM Simplex. We invite everyone to use the net to announce any amateur radio events or activities or training that's in support of the local ham community and the community in general. It's a directed net, and all traffic should be coordinated through net control. Any announcements for the net tonight? All righty. Well, my monstrous announcements are, of course, tonight we're having the live stream with the display of the radio face, so you can see your signals and other people's signals as they shown on the face of the radio, the signal report. You can see it yourself. So it'll be kind of fun, I think. You won't have to look at me, but there'll be a little thing. Anybody else who might be looking at it, it's got the website address and where we are. Okay, hold on. Didn't want to key up too long there. Today is Wednesday, and so tomorrow night is the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's net on their repeater, which is 147.105, and a plus offset in a 156.7 tone, 156.7. And of course, we have our net on Saturday night as well, same place, 146.415. And I'll just leave it at that. I think the Nashville Club is having a tailgate Saturday morning too. I think that's going to be get there early, like 7:30. If you're going to go over that Lock 2 Park, you can look that up for the Nashville Amateur Radio Club. And don't forget that we have a net. We have the Big Ham Fest in July 20. Oh my gosh, I forgot. July 28th, I think it is. You can look it up on HamQuest. HamQuest 2018. It's at the Lebanon Fairgrounds. Any other announcements? All righty then. Then I guess we can start taking check-ins. I see one person's already jumped onto the live stream. Like I said, the live stream's on YouTube. You can either look it up under my call, K4PEW, or you can look it up under Simplexton, Simplexton, or under the channel, which is Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS. Well, very good. I'll just start taking check-ins, and I'll take them starting from the east this time, east of Mount Juliet Road.
WA4ZHI. I cannot see the live stream.
You can't see it?
I see 3 pictures of you from times past, but I don't see anything that says live.
Well, it says here I'm live on somewhere. Hold on. Hold on one second, guys. Give me about 30 seconds. There you go. Jeff gave me a little text there that said the focus was off a bit, but I think that's a little better. It's hard to get it. It'll show up clear focus when I get close. The camera is only about 5 inches from the screen, so it's kind of interesting that how close you have to get. All right. Let's see. Obviously, Jeff is getting that. Jeff, is there anything special you do to see that on the screen? Because I can't see it from your end.
Yeah, nothing special I'm doing here. I just brought up the feed. I got a little YouTube notification that you were live. That actually reminded me of the net, so I ran up here real quick. And I was seeing it, maybe just a touch fuzzy once you moved it back a little bit easier to see. And hearing you fine, seeing you fine, and seeing myself fine. Jeff, KCA, Dan, and out. Thank you.
I don't know why, though. I don't know why James, it would be a problem. We'll have to figure it out later, I guess. But anyway, you can. It's funny because when I see it on my screen, it shows up as a mirror image. So I'm looking at everything backwards. I can still see the signal strength meter, but all the numbers are backwards and all the words are backwards because I'm not showing a display of myself tonight. Unless you want to see my finger. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Everybody just gave everybody a finger, not the finger. All right, James, we'll have to figure that out, but your signal sounds good tonight.
Oh, I got it now. I clicked away from the screen and clicked back to it, and it popped up.
Okay, very good. Well, you can see it. And for those that are on the screen, you can see it's on. I have both sides connected, and I don't have to do both sides of my radio are on 146.415. Yeah, because it's a dual receive. But I do that because normally I'd have a headset on. I'm not doing that tonight, so I can hear on one, and then you guys can hear on the other one on the external speaker. But anyway. Let's see. Oh, we got. Okay, James, appreciate you checking in. Who else we got? Anybody else east of Mount Juliet Road?
K4 easy.
All right, you're sounding good there tonight, Earl.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Looks like Mother Nature's being good to my antennas. Actually letting my radio do full output.
Oh, good. Well, I see you're doing good. Your audio is good to me. It's just the signal strength is still lower than. Well, it's lower than I'd expect it to look, but it's like an S1 or S2. But again, the audio is very readable.
Right, okay. Well, my little low ground antenna explains a whole lot of that in terms of my signal getting over the big hump between you and me and all the terrain in between, right?
Yeah, that's right, Earl. I'm trying to mess with the camera here and I'm making a mess of it. But no, you sound okay, Earl. I appreciate you being here. Who else do we have east of Mount Juliet Road? Please come in.
KN4 LXH.
KN4LXH. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just got my extra guide study class in the mail from ARL, and this sucker is over an inch thick.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Did you get the wire bound one? It's Jimmy, right?
Roger, handles Jimmy. Yeah, I got the wire bound one. Didn't want to have to deal with that binder.
No, the wire wound was a good one. Did you get the ARRL one? Obviously, they're proud of their prices, aren't they?
Yeah, it was $30-something.
I think it's worth it, though. I mean, it's a decent study guide, and I think you'll have Of course, you're gonna have to spend some time in it. I know I did.
Yeah, well, I like the way they explain things, and then they give you little parentheses and saying, okay, this is question number 432.
Yeah, very good. Now that they gave out the study guide for the new question pool already.
Yeah, this extra class question pool goes through June 30th, 2020.
Okay, very good. Hey, I'm trying. Your location again is where?
I'm about 2 blocks north of the high school.
Oh, that's right. You're up there between the high school in Mount Juliet and 70 Lebanon Road. Just a little bit. There's not a whole lot of distance there, but yeah, I know where you're talking. Is it one of the newer developments or one of the existing ones?
No, this is the first subdivision in this area, long before Stonecrest or whatever that was, the one they built just next to the high school. Of course, the high school wasn't even here when I moved in.
Oh, right. I was just noticing in the news about them developing up in on the other side of 109, just north of 70. They're putting in, I forget how many, $500,000 homes.
Yeah, ever since they started working on 109, I try to avoid that area like the plague.
I got you. Very good. Yeah, very good, Jimmy. And yeah, I wish you all the help in the world on working on that, the extra manual, because it's a stretch for most of us, I think. I know I went through the QRZ testing, I mean, routinely in the extra area, and then I would arbitrarily, when I got to any area I wasn't sure of, I went right back to the book and said, okay, what does this mean? And so the book is an excellent resource.
Yeah, it's one of the best study guides around, but you got to apply yourself and go through all the material.
Yeah, I know. Even it's funny because a lot of the stuff that's in the extra, um, either you don't use, don't want to use, or may never use.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the digital mode stuff is still a mystery to me, but there's going to be questions on it, I can guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sure there are. But it's funny what you think you're not interested in at the moment. You'd be surprised what you get interested in later. I know I felt that way too. All right, Jimmy, appreciate you being there. And as you can see, if you can see on the screen, is excellent signal. It's like an easily 20 over S9 on incoming here, but you're only about maybe 6, 7, top 7 miles away from here. All right, who else east of Mount Juliet Road? Well, then we'll move around to the south of 40. Please come in.
I guess I'm south of 40, WA4JJY.
Hey, Eddie, how you doing? You haven't checked in. If you have before, I don't remember.
No, I don't think I have. I just had the radio on and went upstairs and heard y'all talk. I said, well, I'll just do it while I'm at it.
Yeah, very good. By the way, that's Eddie, Whiskey Alpha 4, he calls it Japanese Junkyard. It's JJY, and he's down, I think it's Antioch, isn't it?
Yeah, just barely. I'm right behind Percy Priest, and I'm a block out of Asheville, Nashville itself.
Yeah, but you guys are on the fringe. You're not sure where you are. I know that other fellow down there, I think Biggs down there, Donnie Biggs is also on that rough area down there, where you don't know whether to call it Mount Juliet, Wilson County, Hermitage, Nashville, or Davidson County.
Yeah, it's like you say, I can walk down a block and I'm in Nashville.
Yeah, very good. Good to have you in there. I wasn't looking at your signal strength there. Let me see that again.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, yeah, it's way over S9. So, yeah, you're good, solid signal. And I hope you're feeling better after all that surgery. I'm hoping you don't. Well, I know you're going to go again, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I got to go next Wednesday. Hope that'll get it finished up.
Should have told him to finish it the first time.
Well, they can't do both of them at the same time, they say.
Yeah, I know. I know my mother found out yesterday. Well, she kind of knew it was coming, but she has to have both of her. She got cataract, so it means lens replacement, in each of her eyes. She says, "Well, I'm not too worried about it." I said, "Well, it's nothing. It's really nothing." She goes, "You think it's nothing?" I said, "Yeah, it's nothing to me because I'm not getting the surgery."
I'm having both done. It's not a big deal.
No, I know it's not. It's again, people worry about that kind of stuff when they're working on your eyeballs. It's a little. I don't know. It sounds more horrible than it is for certain. All right, Eddie, appreciate you being in there. And that's Eddie Whiskey Alpha 4 JJY, and he's between Mount Juliet city limits and Antioch and Nashville city limits down by Percy Priest. So you can hear him. He's got a great signal to me. Who else we got south of 40? Please come in.
K1SPD.
Very good, Scott. You sound great. You looking on the web?
Yes, I am. I'm really surprised at the signal from this attic-mounted antenna. It's a 3-element Yagi that I built and hanging upstairs. I don't hear anybody, though.
Yeah, well, your signal, if you're looking on the web, you can see that you've got an excellent signal into my station. Of course, I have a good receive station, so that helps quite a bit.
Yep, sure does. All right, well, carry on. I'm being lazy. Didn't want to walk upstairs tonight. K1SPD. Good picture, though. Looks good. K1SPD.
Yeah, I got you. It just looks funny because, like I said, I'm looking at it backwards, like I'm looking in a mirror, you know. So, and I'm not, and all I see is the backwards numbers. So, but I can obviously you can read the S meter without knowing what that is. But anyway, that's Scott, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta in Laverne. Anybody else south of 40? And appreciate you being there, Scott.
Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec.
Sounds like Preston.
Yeah, back again. Can't get rid of me.
Nor would we want to, man. Come on. It's it's a great fraternity of hams, no matter where. You go to Ham Fest and you meet people and you never met them before, and they're your friends, you know.
Copy that. Well, good evening to you out there, Paul, and everybody on the net that can hear me. So let's get back to it. 73.
Yeah, very good, Preston. You have a good one. That's Preston, KN4, Charlie, Quebec. Anybody else south of 40, please come in.
Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor, girl.
Hold on. We had Sierra Yankee Victor first. There was a double in there. I didn't catch any of the call. It was a perfect double. But Larry, you sound good?
All right, Paul. Yeah, I'm watching here, and a little bit rough, so we'll let you go. KE4SYV.
Yeah, you can see your signal there, right?
Yeah, but it's about a 5 or 6 second delay, so sometimes I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, listen, I spared you. You don't have to look at my unshaved face today. Yeah, very good, Larry. That's Larry, KE4, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor down in Rockville. And we had another station in there. Please come down.
Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill in Murfreesboro.
Yep, I hear you, Bill. I was looking down. I wasn't looking at your signal. So you doing well tonight? How you copying me today? It's good?
Copy you excellent, just like always.
Yeah, your S9 is if you're looking on the web, S9 to me. So you got an excellent signal coming in here.
Well, thank you, and I'll drop on out of here and let you get back to the real good business there. KM4NNY will be clear.
Yeah, that was Bill, Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee in Murfreesboro. Nice signal, though. Nice solid signal to me. Who else south of 40?
And on MDJ, mobile, 3rd November. Good evening.
Hey, Dave, hold on one second. I got a mobile station in there. That's Michael, November 1, Mike Delta Juliet. How you doing? Where are you mobile tonight there, Mike?
Just leaving public, so technically I'm still south of 40.
Okay. Good enough. Yeah, that's where shopping is a pleasure,
And those people are so nice. They did some things for me tonight that most people wouldn't go out of their way at work, and I really appreciated it.
Oh no, Publix is disgusting, man. They're so nice and helpful. I asked somebody, hey, where can I find this? And he goes across the entire end of the store to find stuff for me.
They're great. I can't say enough about how we like them. But anyway, just checking in mobile, and how's my signal? Pretty good on the mobile?
Oh yeah, you're 20 over here and you're full scale on my meter.
Well, considering what I'm running, that ought to be pretty good. I like the 857 in my mobile, just trying to get used to it.
Oh yeah. Well, you've got the manual if you take the time. But yeah, there's a little learning curve on that little radio, but it's a nice radio. I love it.
Well, I got the manual, but I'm just trying to think of the things that I can do without having to think about them, just getting in habit. So that's what I'm trying to work through.
Oh, I know the drill. All right, very good. That was Michael N1 MDJ, and he's mobile on South Mount Juliet Road somewhere, south of 40 at the moment. Mobile. David, I heard Kilo India 4 November Delta November.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Paul. I got a good signal on you, 8 pounds tonight, and looking at that live feed, I'm kind of shocked that I would have thought that transmitting on, say, your right bank and having the frequency on the same frequency on the other bank might hurt the radio. You taught me something.
It doesn't hurt. I can tell. I have it such so that I can say normally I'd wear a set of headphones, and I still can, but so I plug the headphones into one side of the the outputs in the back, and then I have the external speaker on the other set. But in this case, I'm listening to all of it on the external speaker.
Yeah, I'm aware of what you're doing there, but I would have thought my thinking was just thought that it might hurt the other side of the radio. But anyway, please say what you do, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, very good. Hey, refresh my memory. When that? Oh, the next one that's in June, isn't it? Over there with Rutherford County.
Yes, sir. It'll be the first Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. of every month.
Yeah, I'll send out a reminder to everybody so they can jump on it as well. All right, David, that was Kilo India 4 November, Delta November in Reedyville. And that's David with a real fine signal. All right, who else south of 40? Good to have you in there, David.
Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima Mobile.
Ah, very good. How are you doing tonight? That was Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima, correct?
Yeah, Paul. This is Bob. Normally I'm home, but I'm on my way home from work tonight. I'm about I-24 and 840 over there in the borough.
Oh, yeah. Well, you sound good. How much power do you run in the mobile?
I got it wide open. It'd be 65 bucks right now.
Oh, yeah. It's I had a little bit of static in there, but no full copy.
Yeah, I got a good copy on you. You sound real good over this way.
Well, you're bumping up over S9 on the meter, so it's looking real good. And that's like I told somebody else recently. I said, I don't care how much power you have. If you're not in a good location, it's not going to help much. Or if you don't have an antenna that's worth a darn. What kind of antenna do you have on there?
Diamond. Got a diamond mobile antenna. I'm not sure what the number is on it, Paul, but it's one of the foldables. It folds down so you can pull in the garage without tearing it off on the garage door.
Oh, yeah. No, those are nice. Those are very nice. The only problem with those foldovers are you have to fold them into something, and you have to rest them on something. Otherwise, they'll swing around.
Yeah, that is. You're exactly right. That is a little bit of a problem, but anyway, it works pretty good for me.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. In fact, it was MDJ we're talking about that one day, and he said the similar product. And I said, well, I think the best bet is to take a piece of that a piece of rubber base, I'm like, I don't know, it wouldn't matter what it was. And you just cut a little groove in it and you double-sided tape it to a part of your roof or wherever it's convenient. And so the antenna has someplace to little stick in there,
Yeah, I copy that. Yeah, that probably works. They make a little thing, I think you can maybe hook in the edge of your, I don't know, hood or door or something. You kind of bend it around and clip it in there, I think.
Yeah, I got you. I have occasions where when I had a screwdriver on my trunk, when I put the trunk lid up, the whip on top of the screwdriver would go down. And if somebody was getting in the back door, I've had them slam the door on my antenna more than a couple of times.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No, it's not. But it's my fault. I don't blame them because they don't know what's hanging around. They don't really know. So, all right, Bob. That's Bob Mobile. Towards Murfreesboro there, 24 and I think you said 840, didn't you?
Yeah, 24 and 840. Just jumped on 840 as a matter of fact.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Bob. And that's Bob. Kilo November 4 Alpha Juliet Lima Mobile over near Murfreesboro. Who else south of 40? Please come in. Well, then we shall move around to the west of Mount Juliet Road. Please come now west of Mount Juliet.
KM4YRF.
I was going to have this silly joke. YRF. No, it almost sounds like you made that up. I don't think you did. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, Paul, and I thought the same thing too.
Yeah, it's funny how some people will do that, but YRF. Yeah, it's a good call though. So you sound great. Are you looking on the meter?
I am, and it's kind of funny. I had to turn the volume down on my cell phone. I had to turn the volume down because of the delay.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like those old delays they used to have on call-in shows and say, "Please turn your radio off."
Yeah, I remember some of those.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you sound good, Mike. You can see you're pegging my meter here.
Yeah, and I'm happy to say that I've just ordered me some LMR 400 for my little antenna. I'm going to see if that'll help me a little bit.
It may not be discernible. I mean, if you've got relatively short feed lines, I'm not sure you necessarily notice the difference on short feed lines if with a different, more lossy and more lossy feed line. But I don't have long feed lines either, and I still use LMR 400 because I don't want to lose anything.
Well, I ordered the LMR 400 in preparation for the new antenna that I'm saving up for.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, early on when I was doing stuff, I if I told people what I was doing, they'd laugh. I'd say it anyway. I used to get on a lot of roofs of commercial buildings and bank buildings, Ford dealerships, car dealerships, any kind of and a lot of times there'd be cable that due to installations that came and went, they just have it coiled up somewhere laying around on the roof or in a storage room, and it was great. It was garbage to them, so I just pick it up, take it home, and use it for my antenna feed lines.
Well, you know what they say: one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Some of it was funny though because it was unmarked, and I had to guess it was. I had to kind of figure it out whether it was any good or not.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun to do.
Yeah, very good. I appreciate you having there, Mike. That's Mike, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee, Romeo, Foxtrot in East Nashville. Who else west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County?
W4AWA, John in Bellevue.
Very good, John. How you doing? You've got an excellent signal as always.
Doing just fine. And on my radio, I'm not looking at the YouTube yet. I will later, but you're bouncing right around 9 and a little over every time.
Yeah, well, in spite of that, as you know, I sent you that elevation profile off of Google. Google Earth, the program, and it's amazing how big a hump there is between you and me over there towards. I forget where that hump is. It's just east of you a little way.
Yeah, a lot of those hills are that huge area. I think it's 3,000 or 4,000 acres of Edmund Warner and Percy Warner Park, which has got, and then beyond that, we get into the edge of Radnor Lake. Over.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's signals because I've seen other situations like that where you think, well, how the heck if RF is straight line, it wouldn't get to me, given that there's a hump there. But obviously, it's over and around and bouncing around reasonably well.
Yeah, and the other thing, you may know, but I'm not sure on Google Maps. When they do that path, how wide or how accurate that line
is? I don't know how accurate. I presume it's reasonably accurate because I've just tooling around in that over the last few years. You can move your cursor and see the elevation changes. Like for instance, when it goes over the like Percy Priest, it goes down to the whole lake is the same elevation without missing a lick. And even the elevation changes in my yard, which my yard slopes slightly down to the back, it slopes slightly down to the street. And you can see those elevation changes. It's hard to believe they can even do it that accurately.
Yeah, and they do seem to constantly keep improving the resolution when they update the camera and satellite data. Yeah, I imagine on the dam, you could probably see it jump right going over the spillway.
Hadn't tried that, but I think I will.
But maybe we've got, you just never know. It is amazing looking at those peaks, how well we're threading that path.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it obviously has a, I don't want to say it, I don't even know how to say it properly without sounding like an idiot, but obviously it bends around things in the atmosphere in a way that there's no way we can discern what that is.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of those, of course, UHF, that's why it works so well inside concrete buildings, but there's some, maybe some like a miniature NBIS effect or something.
You're right, it might be, because as you know, as conditions change, and it's hard to say what those conditions are. I mean, if we sat and tried to evaluate what rain did and what snow did and what moisture, humidity levels are and what temperature inversions there are, which is almost impossible for you or I to figure what a temperature inversion is, or where it is, and how it affects what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to know.
You know, the other thing that's surprising to me is how well our two signals have held up now that there's all this foliage, because those areas with those peaks are really densely, you know, heavily treed.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, your signal's coming in good here, and it's loud audio. Everybody can tell that. So, of course, are you still running about 90, 100?
This IC 9100 is, I've got the bird meter. It's showing about 90, and with a really good SWR on the antenna. Of course, I'm not going into a slug, but on a dummy load, but that should be pretty accurate.
Yeah, no, you're doing good though. I mean, I'm not sure how many other people hear you, but I'm confident that if I'm able to hear you, I'm pretty sure there's others all over that can hear you. All right, John, it was John Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo in Bellevue. You saw an email that I forwarded from him about he's selling some equipment. If you haven't seen it, go to or ask me again, and I'll send it out to you directly. But he has some nice equipment for sale at a decent price. All right, John, appreciate you being there with a great signal, and good night. Thanks for the feedback. Who else west of Mount Juliet? Please come in. Well, then we'll go to the north finally. The north. Is there Richard? Is he hanging out there by a thread?
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. Yes, I have been since you started this, but that's okay.
Yeah, I just I want to see how long you wait. I mean, what if I actually didn't call at that time, you'd go, hey, what about the north?
I would, absolutely.
Yeah, so you're S9 in here, Richard. Was already on your home station?
Yeah, I've got the whole enchilada coming at you, and all 75 watts and the dual band.
No, that sounds good. If you can see the meter, you can see that you're doing real well.
Thank you, sir. I'm just trying to get across the street. Thank you for doing the net, and I'll turn it back over to you, KI4SIB.
All right, very good. That's Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and he's up almost a couple 100 feet or so. I think he's in the Cumberland River, or whatever that's called, the lake, if you push it any further north from Mount Juliet. Yeah, glad to have you in there, Richard. Who else north of Mount Juliet Road?
Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, Quebec.
Yeah, I'm going to get this right this time, Brett.
All righty, you've had plenty of chances here.
I don't know why that combination of letters messes me up, but it does. As I was writing it down, I had to concentrate. I really did. I must have dyslexia. It's Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, Quebec, and that's Brent up in the northwest part of Wilson County.
Bingo, you got it right tonight.
Yeah, tonight we'll see next time. No, you sound good. Were you looking at the meter at all?
Yeah, you're hitting me full scale.
Okay, and are you seeing it on yours on the web as well? Because you're like a couple over S9 there. You sound good.
Oh, good deal, good deal. No, I can't get that up on the web tonight.
Okay, well, you can always look at it later on that channel. So I'll send out the link if you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, very good. In fact, that's why tonight's the display of the radio and the little piece of paper I have there with our website. That way people can look at it and okay, hey, that's where you guys are. Just a nice way to feed it for people that are just cruising the net and seeing the information. But all right, that's Brent again up in the northwest part of the county, and it's Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor, Quebec, with a great signal. Who else north of Mount Juliet Road, or north of Lebanon Road, I should say? Wow, Jeff, your signal is kind of scratchy tonight. Is there something going on? Are you saying you're mobile? I got nothing. Brent, are you copying him?
Yes, I'm mobile.
I got the mobile part. Where are you located? You're just a little scratchy. You must be in a low spot. All right, I would just verify. Yeah, where did you say you were? Maybe now it's a little better, Jeff? Are you locally local or are you farther away?
I'm locally local. I'm not the house. Just going in.
Ah, okay, now I got you. You must have been in a low spot there, closer to 70 maybe.
A low spot is the driveway.
Okay. Yeah, you're okay now. Little rougher than you normally. Better signal in the house, obviously, but your mobile sounds good.
Great. I'll let you go back to the WD-40.
Yeah, it's only about an S2 or 3, but I've got a good solid, good solid audio, and depending upon where you were, of course, you have to move around in the driveway. But now you sound good. That was Jeff, Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo Whiskey Charlie, and he's also up in the northwest part of Wilson County. Glad you could make it in there mobile, Jeff. K4PEW at the Mount Juliet Simplex Net. Any other stations north of Mount Juliet, north of Division Street, north of Lebanon Road?
KN4, JJH Hendersonville, Sumner County.
Ah, very good. How are you this evening?
Yeah, this is John. I'm doing just fine. Everybody's been on the line here. You're the one that's the strongest, though.
I'm trying to remember. Where are you in Hendersonville?
I'm on the east side of the city next to an elementary school over here called Jack Anderson.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you should. Your signal's good to me. And what kind of antenna do you have now?
Got the tram, 1485, I believe it is.
Okay, very good. No, you're doing fine to me. I was just wondering why your receive would be low, because Hendersonville should be copying, oh gosh, almost everybody at least north of 40.
Had trouble with the mobile that you were talking to. A lot of carrier scratchy, but no voice.
Oh yeah, well he was a little low to me for at first. In fact, he was terrible. But when he moved around to a better spot, mobile, it was, the signal was, maybe S2, but I can see why you'd have difficulty with him over there in Hendersonville, because there's a lot of stuff between you and him, because he's over on the northwest Wilson, way over, almost, close to Hermitage.
Yeah, roger that. And the guy that you were talking to over the hump to the east of you, was it? All I got was just basically you broke the squelch, and that's it.
Okay, very good. Do you know what your elevation is, by the way?
Come back with that.
I said, do you know what your elevation is over there in Hendersonville?
Yes, sir. 528 feet above sea level.
See, that's the reason right there. You're too close to the river, apparently.
I guess so. River, if you can get back from it, I guess you can use it as a bouncing technique.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and for our purposes, I mean, we're fine. I mean, I'm kind of where I'm located with my antennas over 700 feet, and I'm kind of looking down at you with signals, and I'm receiving you just fine. But being that low, it's tough. It's going to be tough for a lot of stations, for you to hear a lot of stations, just for that obvious reason that you're, almost. How many did you say it was? 500 what?
About 528 feet, according to my Yaesu 400 here.
Wow. See, that's like 200 feet lower than me, if you can imagine that. And so that means you're lower than just about not everybody, but pretty low.
Yes, sir. Well, that's because that's why you are the tower of power.
Yeah, that's right. The tower. Yeah, I don't know that power. Maybe it's the terror of power. I don't know. No, it's funny you mentioned that, because I said that a few times. I'm sure I said it on the air, but that was, I found this. Me and my wife got together when we got together 6 years ago. And, she's not a ham. I am a ham, and so she was interested, kind of. And I moved in here and I set up a station, and she was interested in it. Then I started looking at the elevation. I go, hey, I should be doing a net here. I'm at the best altitude, not the best, I don't think, in the whole county, but pretty darn good, for a simplex net. And I'd done simplex nets before, and so I said, hey, might as well.
Hey, roger that. I do have an off-subject question to ask you. Did you do the Nashville Bikeathon?
No, I did not. I thought about it, but I wasn't able. I have restrictions here at the house. It's called my 90-year-old mother and my 94-year-old mother-in-law live with us. It's kind of restrictive on what I do, and my wife still works, so it's like I got a leash on here.
Roger, have you ever done the brass ride up here in Sumner County?
No, I've heard of it, but never done.
Okay, they held it every July, about this last Saturday, July. It's a 15, 40, and 60 mile ride from Hendersonville up into North Sumner and back out.
I'll have to look at that, but I'm gonna have to get ready if I'm going to do the 60. I've never gone 60 in one ride. I've done 35 or so, and that one was a thrill. When I say that, and I say that laughingly, I was up in my hometown area in Niagara Falls, and in Niagara Falls it's flat until you get a certain going north toward Lake Ontario, and there's a huge thing, huge hill that goes down to Lewiston, New York, and it's about a mile long, and it's about 150 feet elevation drop. And going down, it was a lot of fun. Coming back up, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to die. But that was one of my 35-mile rides.
Yeah, roger that. And up there around the Buffalo area too, you got to watch out if you don't ride off the cliff into the Niagara River.
Well, I'd have to. I actually have a video. I'll have to post it. I used to do a 20-mile ride almost every day, weather permitting, and it's along the river. And the path runs right along the river. When I say that, it's a asphalt path that they put in. I don't know when, and it runs some parts of the path. They're got a fence along it. Other parts of the path, there's no fence, and it's about just a few feet from and I mean a few feet from the river's edge. Other areas, when you get down towards the rapids, just before the falls, it goes down, and then there's a fence, of course.
Roger, that's to keep the crazies from putting their barrels in there.
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't stop. My wife, when I took her up there, she'd never seen Niagara Falls, and she saw the fact that the railing stops about, I don't know, I'll say maybe 700 feet above the falls, and then it's just river, and then on most of the other stuff on the around the falls on the islands that are in the middle between the Horseshoe and the American Falls, there's hardly any railings at all, almost none, except along the edge. She says, how come there's not more fence up here? So, well, if you're crazy enough to jump in, you're crazy enough to jump the fence as well. It's just nothing to stop. It stops the kids from getting in there. That's all.
Yeah, I do remember my trip up there at one time that on the American side, there are places that you can actually walk down there, and there are big rocks, flat ones in some cases, where you can, diddly out there 50, 75 yards out into the river if you're a good jumper over some of the streamlets going through there.
Yeah, I know it. If you're crazy enough to do it, though, I mean, yeah, we used to play in the river, but it was dangerous.
Yeah, that sucker's moving. It's going downhill, and it wants to take you with it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a very swift-moving river. I mean, it's, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile across, maybe, and it moves right along because every bit of water from, 4 of the 5 Great Lakes is flying by there,
Yes, sir, the funnel. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I'd like to keep this up, but my ex-wife just stuck her head in the door and said it's TV time. Guess what? You got to live with that when you got to live with it. You know what I mean? KN4 JJH listening for your final.
Yeah, very good. Appreciate you being in there, John. That's Kilo November 4 Japanese Junk Hotel. That's what it'll be. JJH. He's up in Hendersonville. Who else do we have north of Mount Juliet? We lost everybody. Well, then we'll go for late check-ins. Any place, anywhere, please come down.
AC9 AM.
Yeah, I didn't call for out-of-state check-in, Steve, but you're doing fine. No, I wouldn't call for that. You're just north, that's all. How's the signal tonight? Are you able to look at that on the web, or you can look at it on the web later?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's a 4-second delay. That's impressive. I hope you get a check from Kenwood for advertising their products.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I set that thing up that way, I was going to put a piece of black tape over the Kenwood, not because I don't want them to get credit because I don't really care, but I wanted to because YouTube gets really upset when I still fit into the monetized YouTube criteria, which I got paid for, views, which is dang little, let me tell you, but you get paid. And they actually had one of my videos, the one that's Ham Radio Hoarder, it shows a whole bunch of different radios, Tentec, ICOM, Yaesu, several others. I forget how many others. They told me that I was advertising. I said, no, I'm not. I'm just showing radios. I don't give a damn about those radios. But they wouldn't allow me to monetize that particular event.
Well, common sense are basically out the window, but yeah, I've been hearing a few people. Down there in Bellevue, I was able to make him out most of the time, so get a decent signal. Well, I'm going to go ahead and probably come there and give you another number, and hope everybody enjoys the sun outside. Catch everybody later. AC 9 AM.
Well, John is running about 90 watts, so he's got a great signal.
Okay, I'll catch everybody later.
All right, Steve. Appreciate you checking in. That's Steve Alpha Charlie 9 India Mike up in Scottsville, Kentucky. Anybody else? Late check-ins? Need I move on to the lurkers, lollygaggers, scanner listeners, and I forgot I left one out. Sandbaggers. That's who I left out.
Whiskey one, you lost your mic. Glenn.
All right. You're going to stretch my memory here. It's Glenn, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm right across the lake from you.
Ah, okay. Very good. Yeah, right across the lake. Not Percy Priest, but you're talking about the lake, my gosh, the Cumberland, right?
No, Percy Priest. I'm up here off Bell Road.
Oh, that's right. I forgot which lake you were talking about. I just remember where the land, I jokingly say that because I don't know what they mean. I mean, it says city between the lakes, and you have to look hard to find both of them.
I was surprised. I could hear the one up in Hendersonville. I could hear him real clear tonight.
Huh. Now, where you are, you're on the west side of Percy Priest, correct?
Yes, I'm down by Bell Road and Edge Lake Drive, Murfreesboro Road area.
Yeah, okay. And that's interesting though that you have him because you've got a relatively low. What do you know what your elevation is there?
Yeah, no, I sure don't. Off the top of my head.
Okay, no, I can look, but you're how close are you to the lake there on the west side?
Maybe a mile or two at the most.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look because he's like you may have heard me say he's got a very low elevation at 525 or so, and I'm guessing yours can't be too much higher than the lake because the lake's not that high of an elevation.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm actually up on a little bit of a hill. I was thinking mine's around 500 something. But yeah, I'm not real high myself. So I was somewhere on a little hill though.
I know, I got you. No, that's good that you can hear him though. That's great because that's must be a good shot between you and him though for him to. Because like I said, he's got a good signal to me, and you have a good signal to me. But then I'm sitting high here. Like I said, I'm kind of looking down on him at 525, and I'm like top of my antennas at 725.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, for me, you have a pretty good antenna. Right, nice tall one.
Now, it better be good for whatever I paid for it, 287 or something. I put that off for 10 years buying that antenna, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I've heard your story a few times talking about you taking all the money you had some different antennas and you could have had it years ago.
Well, it is true, and I think there's a lesson in that. And it says, if you're going to get into ham radio, save up a few bucks. Don't try to go cheap. I mean, you can go, just don't go ahead and buy. I say that, but you don't spend a lot on the antenna until you can buy a decent one, a really decent one, right? Not just some, I don't want to make everybody sound cheap, but that's ultimately what it is. The better the antenna, the better you're going to do.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I started out with something real basic. I homemade myself, but eventually I have a Comet now. It's made a night and day difference. It's definitely worth putting the money into.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's just, we all do that. I mean, I don't know anybody that. Well, the antennas are a strange one because it does seem like a lot. Like, for instance, if somebody had told me that I was going to spend $280, whatever it was, on an antenna when I first got into ham radio, I'd say, I can barely afford a radio, and you want me to buy an antenna that expensive?
Yeah, I imagine so. But definitely it pays out. That antenna reaches out for sure. I've heard you a long way away.
Yeah, very good. Appreciate that signal report. And you sound good tonight too. You were really killing the meter here. But then you're not too far away from me. It's not over there on the other side of Percy Priest isn't too rough for me. Well, most of the areas within, depending upon terrain, about 30, 35 miles, sometimes 40 isn't too shabby. So I feel it feels good I don't have any excuses for not hearing people, I guess is what I'm saying. But anyway, that's Glenn, Whiskey 1 Kilo Oscar Mike, and he's down there on over by Bell Road west of Percy Priest. Anybody else? Lurkers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, and scanner listeners?
N4 NYA.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Doing just fine. Got in here a little bit late, but I still wanted to check in. If you could just check me in and out, that would be great.
Okay, very good. Yeah, good to have you in there. I'm hoping you got some more people maybe connected with you over there at Weymouth.
I've got one more. I've got to process his card, and then he'll be a full-fledged member. But we're still taking comers that are interested in Aries. So just get in touch with me at N4NYA at ARRL.net.
Yeah, very good. Well, I guess like we've discussed before, I feel part of what, let's put it this way, I'm going to put it a different way. As you know, not everybody gets involved with Aries, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't interest them or whatever, but they are interested in Simplex. So when we put together, and I hope other people put together their Simplex nets and their ability to work Simplex, all of a sudden we become an asset to Aries, into the local community. So yeah, I think you know where we're headed here.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely an asset to Aries for big reasons. One, just to keep people up and going on using a simplex frequency. And actually, part of the problem I find is everybody's got their own ideas of what good simplex frequencies are. So nobody wants to settle on any one or two. But I'd like to think that this frequency here would be an excellent frequency. It seems just fine.
Oh yeah, and I would guess that I've seen organizations like some Aries organizations and some EOCs that they actually do that though. They say, hey, here's the primary. They'll say, here's the repeater frequencies we have, and here is our 3 simplex frequencies. We may never use them, but even if you have a repeater and let's say you're in an emergency, the repeater is going to be fairly busy and you don't want it tied up with minor issue traffic. And you say, hey, go over to, the other one of the other frequencies. These guys meet over there and talk. Don't be tying up the repeater with this, where are you going to get groceries today?
Yeah, exactly. But, well, it's just the way it is, I suppose. Well, anyway, I'm going to turn everything back over to Net Control. Thanks for being Net Control, and we'll catch you the next time. This is N4NYA. Clear.
Yeah, very good, Dale. Appreciate you being in there. That's Dale, November 4, November Yankee Alpha, and he's the emergency coordinator for WEMA, that's Wilson County Emergency Management Agency, and Aries manager, director, president, CEO. Well, I use that terms loosely. He's the head man to go to if you're interested in Aries in Wilson County. And you can reach him at N4, that's November 4, November Yankee Alpha at ARRL.net. Yeah, thanks, Dale. Anybody else? Late check-ins. Well, very good. We'll close out the net. And I hope you guys got something out of that, out of the display there. I think it was a nice little feature, at least for tonight. You didn't have to look at me or my really disgustingly messy desk at the moment. Well, I say at the moment, it seems like it's varying degrees of messy, depending upon what I'm doing or not doing. So you guys have a great night. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. Closing the net, 73, and we had 21 check-ins. So it was a good night. K4PEW, 73, folks.